Hey guys, how you doing? So this one right here is the CMF Watch Pro 2, and this one only costs you 69 euros over here in Germany, and for that price you get a full 2 weeks of battery life. Now this one has a very unique and customizable design, since you can just turn your bezel and take it off, and it has a bright and poppy AMOLED touch display. And today we will do a full tour of the smartwatch, but first up let's start with the specs and the design. So with the CMF Watch Pro 2 you will get a 1.32 inch AMOLED display with a peak brightness of 620 nits, which is bright enough for most situations, but it can get hard to read stuff from time to time. Now, just as a quick comparison, the Apple Watch 9 lights up with a peak brightness of 2000 nits. Now, this watch is available in a few different colors. Now, you can grab it in the colors of dark gray, light gray, blue, and orange, and this one weighs in at 48 or 44 grams, depending on which one you take. Now, the fancy part about this watch is the removable bezel. You just have to give it a little twist and it pops right off, and if you buy a different set of bezels, you can swap them out with ease. Now there is a super flat bezel, or you can get a more round one, which really makes a difference in the appearance. You have an aluminum alloy case and a pair of silicone or leather straps, and that is why the different models of this watch have a different weight. Now this watch also has all kinds of extras that you normally don't get at that price point. It has a built-in mic and a speaker, it is IP68 water and dust resistant, plus it is compatible with Android and iOS smartphones. Now there's also one physical button on the side which turns on the screen, plus you can even rotate the digital crown to scroll through your menu and your apps. Now what I did notice is that this button is rather stiff and is not that easy to rotate like with other smartwatches, for example the Apple Watch. I also want to talk about the durability right quick. Now this watch is very durable. Not only is IP68 water and dust resistant, but you can actually drop it 100 times from 1 meter height and it will still work. At least that's what Nothing homepage says. 100 times 1 meter doesn't seem to be that massive of a durability test. Now, this watch also survived 2,500 steel brush strokes to the screen, 48-hour salt spray corrosion test, high and low temperature resistance test from -40 to +75 degrees Celsius, and you can press the home button for 50,000 times without breaking it. Next up, the battery life, and what you've got in here is a 305 mAh battery, which is supposed to last for 11 days. But if you're using the always on display mode, all of your health trackers, and do some GPS workouts, you more or less get about 3 to 5 days depending on your usage. Now, I guess you can make it to 11 days without all of that stuff, but I haven't had the watch for 11 days to test that. One downside is the charging cable. Now, like with most budget smartwatches, you don't have a proper charging dock, and you only get one of these little pin chargers, which don't charge as fast, plus it doesn't stick very tight to the watch, so it can get loose pretty easily. So the CMF Watch Pro 2 comes with all kinds of features, starting with a big variety of watch faces that you have to download from the watch face gallery in your CMF Watch app. Now most of the watch faces look rather basic and minimal, but cool nonetheless. You can actually also use your wallpaper as a background, and then you can go ahead and customize the watch face, like you can change the complications or the background color of it. Another good feature that I always love to see on smartwatches is the always on display mode with a few varieties to choose from, but it doesn't sync up with your watch face that you are currently using. You also have to keep in mind that using that feature will drain your battery life. You can basically say that it will cut your battery life in half. Then you can also customize your tiles, but you have to do it from your app since it doesn't work on the watch for some ever reason. But like this, you can have multiple apps on a single tile, like you can have your timer, your battery life, and the weather. You can have things like your workouts and all of that stuff. So actually pretty cool. Then you will get your normal music player with which you can control your smartphone's music, like you can go back a track, you can skip a track, you can adjust the volume, but since you have no internal storage and no real app store, you cannot download songs to this watch to listen to them offline, and that means you cannot download any apps to this watch as well, like Spotify. As for your notifications, you basically get notifications from every app that you have on your smartphone. But the catch is that you cannot answer to any of these messages, and the only thing that you can do is to read them and delete them. In the Watch app, you can also toggle specific apps off from which you don't want to get any notifications from. Since you also have a built-in mic and a speaker, You can actually answer and decline incoming calls right on your watch, and you can even place calls via the smartphone. The only problem is that you only have space for 30 contacts, and the annoying part is that you have to manually add them via the smartphone. You also have a voice assistant, but this one is not like the Google one or Siri or any other. With this one you can only wake up the voice assistant on your smartphone, and over here you can go ahead and ask your questions. Let's head over to the health tracking. Now, like with any other smartwatch, you of course get an all-day heart rate tracker that will also keep track of your maximum and minimum heart rate, but it seems to be not the greatest, since sometimes you have very high spikes and very low lows. Then you also get your normal stress tracker, and it seems that I'm always very relaxed all day long, which seems about right. You get an SpO2 tracker and a sleep tracker. With your sleep duration, it shows you your 4 different sleep cycles, which are your deep and light sleep, your REM and awake time. You also get a reference on how long a good sleep is, and a few more statistics, and it seems that it's pretty accurate with the time that I fell asleep and wake up. And by the way, you also get a breathing exercise and the female cycle tracking. As for last, let's check out the fitness and the GPS tracking. The CMF Watch Pro 2 tracks over 120 different sport modes, like your walking, hiking, running, cycling. There are different ball sports, strength training, HIIT workouts, surfing, and even auto racing. So you actually get everything covered, plus it can even start some workouts automatically for you, like walking, running, and cycling. But right here you just have to keep in mind that even though the watch detects the workout, you still have to click on the watch to start it. It doesn't track anything before. As for your GPS tracking, you still have to keep in mind that you have a budget smartwatch on your wrist. It's of course not as good as the ones on the Apple Watch, TicWatch, or the Huawei watch. You can definitely tell where you went, but don't expect anything more of it. Lines are super shaky and you get big deviations. And guys, there we have it. That's the CMF Watch Pro 2. Now, like always, I will leave the link to the product down below in the description. And I guess with that one being said, I will see you in the next one. Peace.